So today, doing a little bit of amateur book repair preservation. I get a lot of old books, like from thrift stores and stuff. And for paperbacks like this is an old copy of Gulliver's Travels from like 1967. So it's over like almost like 60 years old. So for this, I just take some packing tape and cover the spine, and inside here is called the joint. This is the joint. It's the most delicate part of the book. So what I'll do is I'll just take a piece of packing tape and a card. I'll just use the envelope that I have right here, and very carefully I'll make sure that this tape goes all the way to the inside of the joint right here. Bam. So there. Now this Gulliver's Travels, it can survive for at least one more reading. I have a little craft knife right here, and I'll cut the excess off. Bam. So now we just saved this book. You know, I could easily just buy another copy, but I think old books are really cool, so try to save them. Now, for hardcover books like this here, I have a Great Short Stories of the World, Reader's Digest, from like 1970s. So it's about 50 years old, and I don't care too much for the Reader's Digest, like the condensed books. But this is a anthology of short stories. It has Tolstoy, it has Steinbeck, Hemingway, James Joyce. It's just a really great collection of short stories, but it has a lot of damage. So this outside part is called the hinge, and this is the back cover, or the back case. I wouldn't just take this off and then try to bind or cover the spine, because if you bind the spine up, like you glue it or something, and then you open it, you want that hollow in here. You want this hollow part to stay hollow, or else when you open it up, you're gonna break the spine, and you're worse off than what you started. So for this, I'm gonna use some gaff tape. I'm gonna cover this whole back. I'm gonna cover the whole back binding of this hinge and the back cover with gaff tape. Gaff tape, it's fabric. It's super sticky. It's pretty strong. It can tear easily, but at the same time, it's pretty strong. So, just gonna use gaff tape, and I have like a little printed off the title. So I'm gonna cover with gaff tape, cover this with a piece of packing tape, and then seal that off with more gaff tape. So I'll be right back. Actually, let's just do it right now. So yeah, got the gaff tape. Like I said, this is cloth, so it kind of fit. Just gonna cover the whole thing first, probably with like 2 or 3 layers. Bam. So bam. I want to cut this pretty close to the edge, like real flush. So we're covering this break right here at the hinge. Put that back in its place. Seal it down. I'm not going to cover that or anything. I'm going to cover it with tape. I'm not going to cover it with anything else. So the same thing on this side. Let's go ahead and cut this so it can be more precise. Make sure it's in place. Cover it down. Bam. So already, and that's like 100% better already. But I'm also going to take some packing tape. I'm going to attach this title piece that I've printed off, so it will have the title on the back. Once it's all completely covered, the title will still be visible. So this gaff tape is really great for so many things, like super sticky, it's strong, but it comes off clean if you want to use it for other things. Bam. So this isn't the best, what I've done here isn't the best job, but it's going to allow me to read this book without it falling apart, which is the goal. It's not to save it forever. It's not like a super rare or like an expensive book or anything. You can get like Reader's Digest, they're a dime a dozen, you know. People used to just, I guess, subscribe to them so they'd come in the mail every month or whatever. And but this is a collection of short stories. It's not the condensed books. Great short stories of the world. So I was a lot more interested in this than just, say, the condensed books. But yeah, man, a little gaff tape. Bam, so we have that. Now this packing tape isn't really going to stick to the gaff tape. So now it has a title on it. I'll take the gaff tape and put it around one more like this ways. And I don't think it necessarily needs to last another 50 years. But like I said, it'll allow us to have it and to read it. And this gaff tape is pretty nice to work with, so I'll be able to clean up these edges with this little crafting knife when I'm done. Bam. Like that. Yup. I like it. So you could, like, I guess theoretically you could just cover the entire book. I don't want to do that. Almost there. Oops. Yeah, man, so now we've saved this book from going to the dump. And we get to read the greatest short stories of the world. I picked this up at Goodwill for $1. It's so damaged that I'm sure that it was just going in the trash. It was like the Goodwill outlet, where they just have like thousands of books thrown into a giant bin. And I saw this one, I'm like, man, that looks cool. I see a lot of Reader's Digest, and like I said, I'm just not interested in them. They're condensed books. They'll take 400 pages and condense it down to like 150 pages. So then you can kind of get the idea of the book. And authors wanted to be in the Reader's Digest condensed books because it would expose their work to a larger audience and it would possibly get them more sales for the full versions of their book. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody, but you see like so many of them discarded all the time. Yup. Almost there. I think it's not going to be like beautiful what I'm doing here. But like I said, the purpose was just to save the book. Save the book and then we'll be able to read it. There's lots of great short stories in here. Some of these authors I've never even heard of, which is cool. That's the great thing about Reader's Digest, is it exposes you. And maybe you do have a book that is rare or sentimental or something like that, and you'll be able to preserve it this way. I think you can hire just get it totally rebound professionally. But if you're not interested in doing that, you can just do this. You know, it's 10 minutes. And honestly, you didn't even have to put this little title on here. You didn't have to do that. I didn't have to do that, but I wanted to, so when it sits on the bookshelf, I don't have to pull it out and know what it is. Bam. So I should have taken a before and after picture. But this is going to be pretty good. Happy with it. So yeah. Bam. There we go. Great short stories of the world. Reader's Digest. I already taped this inside joint. I've already done that. Now the hinge is protected, held together. So yeah, now I can read. Now I can read The Leader of the People by John Steinbeck. I can read God Sees the Truth But Waits by Leo Tolstoy. And don't have to worry about this thing falling apart on me as I do it. And there's a picture of somebody's dog in there. This is, I mean, guaranteed this was some old lady's book. There's a bunch of dogs in here. So yeah, I didn't even go through it yet because I didn't want to damage it more. But yeah. Guaranteed all these Reader's Digest, they belong to some old people. And we've saved a book. Saved a book right there. We've done a service to humanity.